Our final game from Jersey Mike's Arena features a point guard matchup you won't want to miss. Delquan Warren leads Keystone Prep against Tyler Johnson and the OSL Falcons. It's Game 4 of the battle in New Jersey, coming up next. Game 4 of the battle in New Jersey from Jersey Mike's Arena features Keystone Academy against Our Savior Lutheran. It is Pennsylvania against the Bronx in our final game of the day. Justin Galanti, Book Richardson, glad to be with you here on SUVtv and HBCU League Pass Plus. And coach, the point guard matchup stands out in this one. It's Tyler Johnson for OSL and it's Delquan Warren for Keystone Prep.
Well, Delquan Warren for Keystone Prep, I see him. I don't see Tyler. I'm looking for him. Maybe my eyesight isn't as good as it used to be, but I'm looking for him. I didn't see him.
Well, hopefully he's here. If not, it'll be an undermanned team for OSL in this game, but regardless, should be a good one. We've had 3 good games today. We've seen a ton of great talent on this floor, and that is still the case here for Game 4. And it's also quite the uniform matchup here, to say the least. We've got purple against what can only be described as a phoenix rising from the ashes on the other side. Yeah?
Yes.
Starting lineups being announced here. Another good crowd on hand. And, we've been really impressed with what we've seen so far today. The middle 2 games were very defensive oriented, right? Teams didn't shoot the ball all that well. They were low scoring. Game 1, Kingswood Oxford probably had the best offensive performance of anybody today. What do you expect in Game 4?
This game I expect to get up and down. You talk about guard play, making guys better. This is the game that I think that we've all expected to maybe playing the 60s, 70s, but definitely.
Let's talk about the players to watch for Keystone Academy. Delquan Warren, hopefully he's here, but Khalil Horton as well, and Brian Blanchett. Blanchett is a big-time shooter, so somebody to look out for today as well. As we get set to get underway, final game of the day here at Jersey Mike's Arena, also known as the Rack, one of the underrated environments, I would say, in college basketball. It is a difficult place to come win for any Big Ten opponent.
It's like you're in the pit. It's like you're playing in the pit down in New Mexico, a little bit.
So OSL in the red and yellow gradient uniforms and the purple unis for Keystone Prep.
It's the Lakers versus the Atlanta Hawks.
I like it. It's almost close to the Lakers against the Lakers in practice with the gold against the purple. It is Muhtar Diop on the jump against Yusuf Singare, and Singare wins it back for OSL. And Christian Jones will run things. Jones will be headed down to D.C. to play at George Washington next season. Singare, the UConn commit, getting to his right hand, and he has a very soft touch in the first 2 points of the game.
Jump hook over his left shoulder. I'm telling you, if you let him get there, it's going to be a long night.
Diop for 3, almost banked it in. Rebound down to Jaquil Registe.
This pace.
Armani Ziegler, good pass inside. It was ripped away from him, though, by Diop. Brandon Davis in the outlet for Delquan Warren. Pass inside, a block at the rim, and it'll stay with Keystone Prep. So Delquan Warren, number 1 in the purple, top 100 recruit in the class of 24. He's been offered by Rutgers, Ohio State, Florida. He's more than 20 offers already. See where he ends up playing his college basketball as David Oiona gets his first basket. He'll be playing at UT Rio Grande Valley next season.
going out west a little bit.
Here's Singare.
Wants to get over that. Uh-oh.
Offensive rebound for Registe. Out to Jameer Tripp, driving inside. Right-handed layup, no good. And Oeona has the rebound.
Pace. Reverse it into a side ball. Run to the rim. There you go. He went under.
Brandon Davis can't hit the three, and the rebound for Singare. This Keystone Prep team, Coach, another one that starts 2 players at 6'9".
Yeah, I mean, incredible size. And also, like, athleticism, because both guys are 6'9". Although 6'9", two totally different players. You know, one more perimeter, one more back to the basket guy.
Diop gives it up for Delquan Warren. Patrolling the paint, back up top. 3-pointer, in and out for Matar Diop.
It's a hell of a pass. Left hand wrap, left hand over the shoulder pass for a 3-point shot. Right pass rattled in and out.
Christian Jones for Registe once again. Jones, a tough shot, no good. Offensive rebound for Tripp. Good feed in the lay-in for Christian Jones.
But again, that was made possible by the extra effort by Tripp.
Davis once again. Played on that Blue Chips team coming up with Bronny James. Now Warren once again. Davis driving inside. Good pass for Brian Blanchett, and we told you he's a great shooter.
Awesome shooter, but again, that Brian Blanchett, what he did was a great job. He ran away from the help, right? His man ran in, he relocated to a different spot, got him a wide open 3, penetrate and kick. But it only works. Great pass.
Tripp over the top.
What an incredible pass. That's an incredible pass. Great look. But now think about this. We're executing offenses, and we're running stuff. Think about the assists already. You talk about 2 games ago, St. Raymond's had 7 assists for a game. Right now, we're talking about our Savior Luther. They, I think on 4 made baskets, they've got 2 or 3 assists.
An 8-5 lead for OSL. Last 2 buckets for Armani Ziegler, who's going to play just down the road here in Jersey City at St. Peter's. His brother is a stud, by the way, at Tennessee, isn't he?
Yes, he is. And the great thing about his brother, he played all the way through. People didn't see him, coaches didn't see him. He trusted himself, and guess what? He worked his tail off, and he's one of the, you talk about sub-6-footers who's impacting the game in such a way, offensively and defensively. He's tough to take out the game. And, like I said, wow, the pass.
And not quite kept in there by Jaquil Regis, so it'll stay with Keystone Prep here. As Kai Ziegler in Tennessee off to a great start this season. Rick Barnes has done quite the job there.
Coach Barnes, he's done an awesome job, and I think people, they talk about what he did at Texas, but you go way back when he was at Providence. Coach Barnes has done a tremendous job all his life as a head coach and as an assistant as well. So, those guys are going places where they're going to be challenged, they're going to be coached, and they're going to be held accountable.
Delquan Warren, difficult pass. Oeona couldn't finish. Loose ball taken by Diop. 3-pointer, Blanchett again left this one short. Fight for the rebound is ripped away by Christian Jones. Ziegler out in transition, lost the ball.
Again, just the pace of this, the pace of it. Unlike the prior games, this pace is picked up. They want to play this way. It's no mistake. They definitely want to play this way. Both teams.
And also, I think you and I kind of lose track of time since you're inside all day. This is the 4th game, but this was post 8 o'clock start. These guys have been waiting around all day to play this game. They've come out with a lot of energy, no surprise.
Yeah, and it's like, kind of feels like we're in Vegas. They don't want us to know what time it is. We don't know if it's day or night. I don't know if we have.
Some have called Piscataway the Vegas to the East.
I tell you what, rightfully so. I'm not sure if there's another 4 games, if this is the last game. We may have. When do we leave? We're here all day, all night. I'm not sure what time we leave.
Jump shot is good there for Jameer Tripp, 3-star recruit, uncommitted senior with a bunch of high major offers, a bunch of local ones as well. And Coach, you look at that guy, 3 and, again, the gradient uniform, as this is travel. You're going to have a hard time convincing me he's of high school age.
Again, because I'm older now. I'm not sure what high school age is, because back when I went to high school, it's such a long time ago, like you graduated like 15 years old. Because you know, again, you had a full-time job at 12.
Jones quickly off the inbound. Reverse layup, nearly made it. That was a difficult shot for Jones.
Young fella, I was born last century.
3 from the corner is short. And they want to run again. Ziegler inside, no good, and he was able to keep it alive, but turned it over. Back the other way. Brian Blanchett getting to the rim, and he draws the foul.
Kind of forced the action a little bit.
You know, we talked about Christian Jones a little bit, a guy who's going to play at GW. And George Washington in the A10. See Warren, Blanchett, Horton, some of the stars for this Keystone Academy group. But, you know, you look at teams like GW, and it's not quite the same thing, but GW, Georgetown, St. John's, programs where there's just such an incredible base of high school talent around them, but they've, all 3 of them really have kind of been down for a long time, and you wonder, is someone going to get in there at some point and be able to really just build a wall around their area, keep some talent close, and they just seem like sleeping giants.
I've always felt this with recruiting. You know, it's one, you know, who's your head coach, but also who's that player, right? There's always been a player that he goes there, and everyone else wants to stay there and play, you know, on that guy's team. And again, when, you know, synonymously through the years, it's been a player. And then it's like you build a recruiting class. You know, everyone talks about the Fab Five at Michigan, not realize, like, hey, you know, Glenn Rice and a couple other guys, you know, they went to Michigan and lost to the national championship game. I mean, actually,
they won the national championship
against Seton Hall.
Yep. P.J. Carlissimo and Seton Hall.
You know, but think about that. No one talks about that national championship team. They talk about the Fab Five who lost, you know, back-to-back year in the Final Four.
Tough move inside, and the shot no good for Diop.
But when you look at that, you know, again, recruiting perception.
Tripp for 3.
Again,
left it short. And a timeout taken by OSL.
I look at those lines, man, and I worry. This is a very depleted OSL team. Because, again, I'm saying there's about 7 guys there. I know they played yesterday as well. That's Tyler Johnson right there, yep.
So the other thing, though, about, you know, recruiting is the game has just changed so much with coaches being able to hand-pick players year to year in the transfer portal, where, you know, if you need a power forward next year and there's not necessarily one that you like in the high school ranks, you can go pick one that's got 150 games of college basketball experience and plug and play on your roster. And that's just really changed everything. And, you know, it might not really affect some of the players we've seen today, right? Like in the last game, Mackenzie Mbako's the top 5 player in the country who's gone to Duke. Sim Wilcher going to UNC. But it's kind of that, and I know we talked about rankings being worth not that much, but your 2 stars, your 3 stars, it might affect them going forward as a coach is going to say, I'm gonna take that chance on a guy who's already played in college, and it might produce different landing spots for these kids than they would have had in the past.
It's going to affect everyone. It's free agency.
Yep.
And it's free agency at its best. When you look at North Carolina, you know, by the way, they were one of the top. They lost to the national championship game last year. Well, guess what? They get a kid, Nance, right?
Yep.
From Northwestern. Like, they took a free agent.
And why did North Carolina get to the championship game last year? Brady Manning,
another free agent.
Oklahoma. And what's interesting this year is, this is not true anymore, but as of 2 weeks ago, there were no freshmen in the top 50 in the country in scoring. I think Brandon Miller of Alabama has now entered into those ranks. Is this a turnover against OSL? But it seems like maybe the time has very quickly come and gone of being able to start 3, 4, 5 freshmen and be really, really good.
I would just say the COVID year, NIL, and the transfer market, if you want to really be good with 5 freshmen, it's going to be really tough because you now have guys that are 24 years old. You have guys that's been playing, and like I said, you can go assemble a team. Hey, I'm missing this piece, so I'm going to go get it, and he's older.
Shaquille Registe on the lay-in gives OSL a 4-point lead, 36 seconds to go. And a foul. It's also changed the game for coaches because you used to say, okay, one full recruiting cycle of 4 years and you got to turn it around. Now it's like, hey, with the transfer portal, free agency, like you're saying, if this isn't somewhat fixed in 2 years, we're moving on.
You have a year because, again, you can keep doing it.
Right.
And I would just say you went from creating programs to creating teams. Right, it's a team. Your team changes every year. And I remember, you know, again, my college experience in 10 years, we have 50 guys signed. That's 5 a year. 5 guys a year, right? And I'm thinking that number, 50, those are high school guys and transfers that have to sit out. Imagine if we had the transfer portal. You know, how does that impact you?
Christian Jones with less than 10 to shoot. Yair Aburis misses the 3. It's run down and kept alive. Maybe one more chance for a full court shot for Brandon Davis off the side of the backboard. And that ends the first quarter from Rutgers. A 12-8 lead for OSL over Keystone Academy. We'll be right back here on SUVtv and HBCU League Pass Plus.
Go. Playtime mode is the big league. Go. Playtime mode is the big league. Go. Playtime mode is the big league.
This game is presented by HBCU League Pass Plus. 24/7 live and on-demand coverage of your favorite HBCU sports. Try it for free now by downloading the HBCU League Pass Plus app.
Championship in the trap. It's rolling a trophy, I hold it up. Got me when they let us get up enough points, it's a rap. Don't shine every time.
Humbug.
Happy holidays, Mr. Scrooge.
I can barely get reception outside the old town center.
You need a better network. 'Tis the season to switch to Verizon.
Tis?
Tis. You get a free 5G phone when you do.
Free phone?
Plus, Verizon gives you another great gift.
Oh, the more gifts, the merrier. For me.
Oh, Scrooge.
This season, only Verizon gives you a free 5G phone and $100 off Xbox All Access with Xbox Series S. Wow! Only on the network America relies on. Verizon.
12-8 lead for OSL over Keystone Prep as we get set to start the second quarter from Piscataway. Justin Galanti, Book Richardson, glad to be with you. Bit of a low-scoring first quarter between these two teams that combined to shoot 9 of 35 from the floor, but it's a tight game. And Keystone Prep starts with the basketball. Top of the key, it's Diop, trying to test his range, but bricks the 3, and a foul on the floor will keep it here.
Great play call, and like you said, just wide open, wide open shot. You have to make that shot. When you talk about being an elite level guy, or you want to be an elite level guy, you got to make that shot wide open.
Warren gives this up for Brandon Davis. 6'2" senior. Davis is, he thought he was fouled, but just lost it out of bounds, and it's a turnover.
Again, those, for any young person watching this, those turnovers, man, you want shots, you want opportunities to score at the basket.
Good pass inside and a foul against Khalid Horton.
I tell you, he looks like DeJounte Murray. This could be the Hawks Lakers. This could be, maybe.
It really, it does look like it.
Just use your imagination a little bit.
They look like if somebody was playing 2K and they created new jerseys for the Hawks, right?
Yes.
First free throw is good.
Yes, sir. Yes.
For Christian Jones, 6'4" senior. Again, will be headed to George Washington to play next season.
Yeah.
What do you think, and just to kind of put a bow on that discussion for the first quarter, the transfer portal works both ways, where a kid can go and be really, really good at a mid-major school, transfer up to a high major D1, or somebody can go to a high major D1, as an outlet pass for Registe leads to a layup, go high major, maybe you don't have a spot there, transfer back to a mid-major. So it works both ways. Do you think the end result's going to be more of the mid-majors being able to beat high majors, or less parity in college basketball because these mid-majors are losing their stars?
I think what happens is there's going to be a little bit more parity, because I think what no one talks about, there's also this middle ground of what about the transfers that don't go anywhere? Right. There was a kid at Manhattan College, right, who transferred to West Virginia, and he wasn't cleared to play.
Yep.
Those stories aren't talked about. And, everyone thinks like, hey, man, the grass is greener. I think what we've told our kids, especially through the transfer portal, if you don't like this thing in a year, then you can leave. Whereas before you had to, hey, I'm going through my growing pains. And now when you start to look at the parity, when you look at a school like, how can the University of Houston be #1 in the country? Well, because they have a mindset and a culture. They're getting those guys who, you know what? I'm not necessarily looking in the transfer portal, but if they can get a couple, they will. But again, it's about building a team.
Both teams continuing to struggle a bit from the floor, but a foul there, and it'll be Tau Ibrahim going to the free throw line for OSL. We were talking about him earlier, and if my eyes don't deceive me, I believe I see Shaheen Holloway underneath the opposite basket from where these free throws are going to be taken.
So we saw Coach Shaheen Holloway. I'm watching him with his son. Again, I've watched Coach Piker with his staff, and I have to keep mentioning Brandon Knight. Incredible young talent, incredible. He's going to be a head coach, sooner than later. Coach Hobbs, who he's already been a head coach. The role of the head coach, and you talk about any good program. Same thing with Coach Holloway, man. Those guys, they have tremendous staffs, and they're training them to be head coaches, and that's what makes you really good.
Travel. And a travel here against Sammy Eshimwe, junior 6'5" wing player, and all of a sudden OSL is up by 10, and 6:12 to go second quarter. Keystone Prep sitting on 8 points here.
Can't score, but you can't run offense, you can't initiate, and you can't get stopped, so you can't get anything in the open court.
It's a tough combination. And a turnover could lead to a run out. Delquan Warren behind the back feed, and it was off of both Diop and Horton, and it's another turnover.
But again, another turnover, guess what? Another missed shot opportunity. You have 8 points. The goal is you probably have as many turnovers as points. The goal is to make sure that you can get a shot opportunity.
9 turnovers, 8 points for Keystone Prep so far. A very long three is good for Christian Jones.
Great shot, Chris.
Nothing else to say?
Nothing else to say. I'm like Bobby Boucher.
Oh, the jam inside for Diop.
From the water boy, my mama said, I got nothing good to say. The 1-3-1 action.
Tough pass inside. It was deflected. Out of bounds off of Davis, but Keystone Prep trying to use defense to create some of their offense to get back in this game.
Yeah, and you talk about almost, midway through the second quarter, and they have 10 points. But think about it, they have 10 points and 9 turnovers. So again, you have to get shots at the basket. You have to get an opportunity to offensive rebound. You have to get out and transition. Because again, you talk about this Ossabaw Lutheran team did length and athleticism on the defensive end.
Wow. Good shot by Yair Aburis. And it's a 13-point lead. Davis driving hard to the rim is rejected by Singare.
But again, guys, right, you've heard me harp on this same thing. One pass to the rim against a set defense. Move the defense, move the defenders.
Good inbounds pass. Singare this time commits the foul on Diop. 6'9" junior Diop, already been offered by Charlotte. Drawing some other interest as well among the schools.
Ron Sanchez at Charlotte, was on the staff with Tony Bennett at Virginia. He'd done a tremendous job as a player and the coach. You talk about Pitt with Coach Capel, again, another awesome basketball player and awesome coach. So, these kids are getting recruited by some really high character programs, but high character people.
23-11 the score. 4:50 to go in the second quarter. Feels like we're a broken record today saying, can X team get it under 10 by the end of X quarter as Singare gets the dunk.
Again, I don't know how much 1-3-1 Keystone plays, but it doesn't seem like they play a lot. When you give that pass up for a dunk against a zone, it's not hard to do, but it's just like, concentrating. You can't let, the back line of any zone, you can't let that happen.
How about what OSL is doing in this game with only 7 players and without one of their stars in Tyler Johnson? Davis from the top of the key, couldn't hit it.
Again, like, you have to corral the basketball, and I just think people don't understand, like, a turnover, 25-11. Imagine you get it to 27 and 28, where now you make a team give up. Those turnovers, and I know you keep saying, Coach, you keep harping on them, and you're never going to have a perfect game. I'm not looking for perfection. But if you turn the ball over, there should be a reason, right?
Yep.
Right? We talked about that earlier. Why'd you turn that over? Well, because of what? You had no reason to turn that one over.
And it's also, as Warren can't hit the 3, offensive rebound Diop, lost it out of bounds, but it'll stay here. It's not necessarily, I guess, only what's the reason for the turnover, but hey, you made this pass, and if you turned it over passing the ball in the corner, what was the point of that? As Horton steps into one and misses, but if you make a pass, into the paint and it gets taken away, but if it was converted, as a huge block at the rim comes from Delquan Warren, back the other way.
But you had a 2-on-1 situation.
And they throw it away, and it will be a dunk for Jones.
Right? This game right now should be 31-11. They're mailing it in.
A 16-point lead for OSL. So just to finish that conversation, right? If you try and make a pass around the rim, it gets taken away. But if that pass was converted, it would have been an easy layup. Okay, I can live with that turnover. But if you're just making a pass into a corner that has nothing beneficial to do with the possession and it's a turnover, that's the one you can't live with.
Yeah, we have an issue.
Or those pick six turnovers that lead to layups.
And again, live ball turnovers where you can't defend. You know, you can defend a bad shot. And I'm not telling you to take a bad shot, but you can defend it.
Sure.
You know, you can defend a dead ball turnover, but just a live ball thrown into the other team, it's just tough to do.
3:38 to go here in the second quarter, and Keystone Prep just 4 of 19 from the floor, and 13 of their 19 field goal attempts have been from behind the arc, and they've only made one.
So again, we talked about this is game 4, and I would just say it's been such a joy and a tremendous pleasure to work with you because this thing has flown by.
It really has.
It really has, and we've seen some pretty good basketball. But I think you've heard me harp on the same thing. Take the three. You know, when you're on a college campus, you're on the university floor, like Rutgers, you're in a Big Ten, and don't get caught up on what line you're shooting from. Shoot from the line that you shoot from. That's one. 2, shoot the shots that you shoot. I remember being at Arizona, and like I said, we played in the Staples Center, or what was once the Staples Center, and our guys, they kept shooting from the NBA line. And it's like, guys, it's only 3 points. It's not 3.5 points. It's 3 points. Shoot the shots that you shoot, that we shot in McHale. And the fascination of, oh, man, those guys shoot it. Hey, I want to shoot it. Hey, Steph Curry shoots it. Listen, Steph Curry has shot, you know, he's missed more shots than you've attempted.
Issue here with Christian Jones, who has to come off the floor, and OSL really cannot afford any more injuries. Only 7 dressed players for this game already. And it looks like it's a blood situation at the moment. So hopefully Jones is all right. And with 3:27 to go in the second quarter, he will be tended to by the training staff. So glad you've been with us all day here on SUVtv and HBCU League Pass Plus. Just a wonderful event, the battle in New Jersey here at Jersey Mike's Arena. Justin Galanti, Buck Richardson, our entire crew has been spectacular for the duration of today. By the way, let us potentially be the first to wish you all a very early Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
2023 came fast, didn't it?
Very much so. Very much so.
Brandon Davis hits the 3, and that's a big shot for Keystone Prep. No answer on the other end. Davis has the rebound, wanting to run. Davis patrolling, thought about taking another, and instead will slow things up. And Horton traveled.
But again, guess what? 15 dribbles to a pass to turn it over.
11 turnovers now for Keystone Prep.
You know, and let's just say that 11 is turned down to 5. Right, so 6 less turnovers. You had 6 more shots. Let's say you made two more of those. You know, let's say one's a 3 and one's a 2, so that's 5 more points. You know, now instead of it being 27-14, maybe it's 24-19. And that's how you have to look at it, just from a standpoint. You got to give yourself an opportunity to at least be able to score the ball. Anything could happen, right? A zany shot could happen. You can get fouled, or you throw it up, it goes. You close your eyes, it goes in. But at least if you give it a chance, if you get the shot up there, you give it a chance to go in. You give it a chance.
A turnover off the inbound. Davis kicks it out. Delquan Warren for 3 around and out. That felt like it could have been a momentum changer.
Yeah. Again, guys playing really loose with the basketball.
Jameer Tripp. And he almost threw it away.
I didn't know if that was Justin Verlander. He threw a 90-mile-per-hour fastball.
Tripp getting all the way to the rim. Couldn't finish the first time. Second opportunity, and he walked. You know, it's funny because it's the fourth game of the day for our crew and us, but it's the first game of the day for these two teams. Feels like they're playing a little like they've played 3 games today.
No, I'll tell you what, that's a great analogy because just how sloppy it is. You know, the basketball is just whizzing around. Guys just being undisciplined, you know, turning the basketball over. You know, again, like that was almost turnover number 12. And I would definitely say, I think we're still going strong. I don't know if they're tired. You know, just adding on to, you know, it seems like this is their 4th game of the day.
Well, it is a 13-point differential at the moment. Warren, good pass inside and a foul. Warren is yet to really make his impact felt in this game. Has not scored yet, but that was a nice pass.
Great dish. He's trying to set people up. You know, again, he had a 3 rattle in and out for him, but, you know, if he's a setup man, he's got to stay aggressive and keep guys going. You know, and by the way, sometimes you got to be able to get your own to now be able to draw. Right, if guys know that you're not going to try to score the basketball, they're going to stay at home. But again, you have to make the right play, and if the right play is scoring the basketball, that's what it is. If the right play is dropping it off, but make the right plays. Don't predetermine in your head I'm going to pass the ball.
Matar Diop at the line. He is now 2 of 3 and 2 of 4 at the charity stripe in this game. 4 points and 6 rebounds for the 6'9" junior. So a 12-point game, 95 seconds to go in the first half. Singare for Ibrahim. And inside, too easy for Registe, showing his strength.
Great play call. Coach Pete Wheatley, I tell you, he's one of the best coaches in New York City. He's also a great motivator, like incredible motivator. And I've seen him for a long time. I really believe in him. You know, they do an incredible job at OSL. Even, you know, and as an administrator, there's a gentleman by the name of Eric Jones who, you know, has been his brainchild for a very long time and just put the time in. And then you talk about that staff, Malcolm Pope. You know, as I look over there, you know, he again at one point he was, you know, one of the best freshmen in the country. So, you know, they have some true basketball guys over there, and you know, definitely trust what they're doing. So, back to 17.
Registe now with 9 points. Less than a minute to go here in the first half. Warren finally on the board with a 3.
And here's the thing, man. No one's gonna be upset with your kid. You know, hey Warren, no one will be upset with you.
Shot clock is turned off. And a foul inside. So we've now seen almost 14 full quarters of basketball today, Coach.
Yep.
I can say confidently we have not seen a single team hold for 1 shot with the shot clock turned off.
No. That thing is there for show. Conversely, I think there's only been 1 shot clock violation.
Yep. Jameer Tripp shooting 2. 3 points now for the 6'6" senior. Yet to decide where he will be playing his college basketball. Hits both. And the lead is 34-18. Brandon Davis with the basketball for Keystone Prep. Davis driving inside. Tough bounce pass, and Diop was fouled.
I'm telling you, I have this big pet peeve. I know, you know, probably the right pass, the bounce pass, but for a big fella, throw it up to him. You know, throw it to the rim, throw it near the rim. Let him go get it around the rim. Because what you do is when you bounce past it, he's on the lose position, and he may have to drop, you know. And
you make your 6'10" guy 6'4".
Yeah, and by the way, I understand that's how it's been taught, you know, but when you think about it, it's a pressure situation, you know. It's muddy, it's murky. Throw it up. While everyone's watching you, he's already up. So you know, I'm a big adversary of trying to make sure that you can help your big guy and one, you know, making sure that he wants the basketball.
2 free throws good for Diop. One more chance for Tripp at the buzzer. Does not get the bounce. And that ends the first half in game number 4 of the day of the battle in New Jersey. OSL with a 34-20 lead over Keystone Prep. We'll be back in just a few minutes for the second half, the final half of the day on SUVtv and HBCU League Pass Plus.
Go. Playtime mode is the big league. Go. Playtime mode is the big league. Go. Playtime mode is the big league.
This game is presented by HBCU League Pass Plus, 24/7 live and on-demand coverage of your favorite HBCU sports. Try it for free now by downloading the HBCU League Pass Plus app.
Been won a championship in the trap. It's rolling a trophy, I hold it up. They let us get up.
Welcome back to Earth.
Thanks, it was pretty life-changing. Dude, it was 8.5 minutes.
I didn't even get to finish my burrito.
Technology lets you vacation in space, but to get work done on Earth, you need more than technology. You need CDW.
So with the Cisco hybrid work environment, we can deliver the same network experience to all your offices. Space spaghetti. Securely connecting your team from anywhere.
Houston, we have a solution.
We get it, Greg. You've been to space.
Cisco makes hybrid work possible. CDW makes it powerful.
Following my mother's footsteps definitely led me to Shaw University. On a college tour, she's like, oh, look, DJ, that's the McDonald's I used to go to. It ended up being a place where our band members would get to know each other outside of the band room.
Oh, you.
It's definitely like our student union.
But with fraud.
For our crew to go to that same McDonald's she went to, I wouldn't want it any other way.
HBCU League Pass Plus. Watch your favorite black colleges. Some of the best players in the land. HBCU League Pass Plus.
Picks it up, and it's a touchdown. It threw it in.
League Pass Plus. Watch your favorite black colleges. Some of the best players in the land. HBCU League Pass Plus. It's game time. I'm proud and I love my HBCU.
And tonight's winning numbers are 18, 55, 39, 71, and 43.
43?
Those numbers again.
We won! Yes!
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
I'll hold on to that.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Welcome back to Jersey Mike's Arena in Piscataway. Second half coming up between OSL and Keystone Prep alongside the coach, Book Richardson. I'm Justin Galanti, thrilled to be with you for 16 more minutes of basketball today. Glad you've been with us all day on SUVtv and HBCU League Pass Plus for the battle in New Jersey. Coach, a 14-point lead at the break for OSL. And they shot the ball really well, right? 46% from the floor. But inside the arc, they were 11 of 19. That's a big reason why they have this 2-touchdown and 2 extra point lead.
So as we talked about all day, right? Guys hoisting up these threes. When you go 11 of 19 inside the arc, you put so much pressure on the defense because you're making layups, you're making 2-point shots. But again, it wears you down. And when you're making shots, here's the thing. You can't get out in transition. You can't get out in transition. When someone's, crushing you on the boards or they're making 2-point shots, it's tough to get out in transition. And again, when you talk about in 16 minutes, man, only giving up 20 points, that's awesome.
On the other side, just 6 of 23 from the floor for Keystone Prep. 17 of their 23 shots were threes, and they turned the ball over 12 times, so they are hoping to basically change all of that in the second half.
If you have an opportunity to get shots at the basket, whether it misses, you don't want it to miss, but you also want to give your big guys an opportunity to offensive rebounds, to get easy shots. But again, in transition, you know what? You get some, you get some wide open looks at the basket, you get some wide open threes. What you want to do is you want to have an opportunity to score.
Well, those first couple minutes of a half always so important, especially when you're trailing by 14. It could be 20 very easily, or it could get back to 8, and then it's game on.
So just think about this. We've seen that in almost every game. There's an 8-point lead, and it balloons. Price to King St. Raymond's, they went from 8 to like 20. It ballooned up. You talk about our first game. And it was, we thought it got to 8-7, and then guess what? It got down to, a 2-possession game. Our third game, with the Patrick School, that thing got down, it got close late. But the tale of two halves.
Jameer Tripp working inside through a double team. He is rejected. Keeps the basketball, though, 8 to shoot. Tripp, 4-3, left it short, trying to get his own rebound, and does.
Just outworking guys. It's another possession.
He's not the tallest, but he is the strongest guy on the floor as well.
Yeah, and that's that, wow.
Another miss, though, from OSL, and Keystone Prep only down by 12. Brandon Davis, a guy that the coaching staff feels like is a D1 prospect, has been a little under-recruited to this point. Oiona left it short. Tripp into the corner for Regista. 9 points for him and Jones in the first half. 3 around and out for Tripp.
Gotta stop the ball in transition. Gotta stop the ball.
Here's Davis.
Just think about it. Remember, I said, when you go through an offensive set, just look how many times the ball's been dribbled. Right? They're now getting to a play of 16 seconds.
Delquan Warren lost it. It'll stay, though, with Keystone Prep.
And that's the sign. You're trying to score. Well, what are you doing? What are you doing to put yourself in a good spot to score?
Comes all the way to the top. Khalil Horton had a quiet first half. Delquan Warren missed the 3. Saved, though. Horton gives it up, and the layup is no good for Davis. Horton another chance, and he hits it off the back of the iron.
You're always taught never save the ball under your basket. For that reason alone.
Christian Jones. Singare somehow kept possession of the ball and drew the foul. Singare's pretty skilled for his size and age.
Yeah. I would say, again, going to UConn, being able to put some weight on, and add some strength, that's what he's going to need to be able to compete at, just to play at a high major college level, at a university where he's going to, where he's going to be expected to produce.
We talked about one Hurley earlier, Bobby at Arizona State. What do you make of the job Danny Hurley's done at UConn this season, getting them back to currently undefeated at #2 in the country?
I tell you what, Danny has done a tremendous job. His staff, Kamani Young, those guys, Tommy Moore, Luke Murray, they've done such a tremendous job of being able to recruit. But again, it's the biggest thing that no one talks about? The culture.
Yeah.
The culture. What they believe. Those guys play hard. They believe that there's never a game that they play that they don't think they can win or they don't think they should win. And that starts, like I said, from Danny as a player. And again, as a friend of mine, always thought the world, same class. And like I said, just always thought the world of him as a basketball player, a person, and a friend.
Loose ball on the deck, picked up there by Davis, and a foul called. I think another thing that really helped UConn, right? They won that second national championship in a short span. Then there was the Kemba title team and then the Shabazz Napier title team. And then they were kind of a team without a league. They were in the American, and that league was not the right place for UConn. They were too good of a program for that league, and it hurt them. But now being back in the Big East, it's huge for UConn.
Again, it's who your kids identify with. The kids grow up just like the parents grew up as Big East fans. And I would say when you talk about things like that, you look at Maryland, right? Maryland's, a really good program who, they were at ACC. They look forward to playing Duke and Carolina at least once a year.
Jameer Tripp lays it in.
So now you take that away and you start to say, well, then now their natural rival is Rutgers.
And not that can't be a good thing, but there's no history to it.
There's no history to it. So those are the things that you talk about. Wow,
good pass inside,
pass.
And Regista is fouled.
Those are the things that you start to look at. What makes sense? Like you grow up saying, I remember that rivalry. Now you start to say, well, not so much. And realignment, and again, just my opinion, realignment is all about football.
Yep.
And, the football dollars and being able to take care of universities and, being able to make, to make new arenas, to make new facilities, and it's very much needed. But, those are, UConn is an American conference that you don't identify, who's your natural rivalry. There aren't any.
And that's why, they are all football decisions, you're right. But UConn went independent for football to be able to be back in the Big East for basketball. So that was a very rare, football adverse decision, and it's really helped the basketball program as Registe throws it down with the right hand.
Yeah, transition. Again, transition offense. We're talking about they've scored, Keystone has scored 4 points in 4 minutes.
Into the corner, 3 for Jones is good.
It always happens like that. I'm the good luck charm.
Should say Davis on the 3 there. And it's a 13-point game. Both teams looking for offensive rhythm. Singare to the rim and one.
That's a big-time move.
They're going to love that at the XL Center in Hartford. Singare now with 7 points and 4 rebounds today. And he will shoot the extra free throw. I heard this stat, and it's perfect because of where we're sitting right now. So UCLA, USC, future Big Ten rivals of Rutgers. We are the same distance from UCLA right now as we are from the capital of Iceland.
I tell you what, that's and I'm not even being funny. That's as interesting as it gets because again, you talk about for football, and that's that. Again, I'm not smart enough to realize how it's going to look.
Tripp threw that away, not on the same page with Armani Ziegler.
How that's going to look, what it's going to be. But, that is going to take away, just from the academic component. Like, again, I remember being in the Pac-12, you play Thursday, Saturday, or Friday, Friday, Sunday, or maybe Wednesday, Thursday. Or maybe Wednesday, Saturday. But overall, how do you do that? How do you do that? How do you now say, hey, you know what, we're going to take commercial flights,
Well, it's going to end up having to be, I would think, Ziegler lobs it up, Singare on the alley-oop. And I think Singare was talking to the basketball or something after the dunk, but
had a great conversation.
Having a nice second half, and that forces another timeout for Keystone Prep. What it's going to have to end up being, I would think, is that, and I don't know if in your time you were super locked in on Ivy League basketball, but in the Ivy League they have travel partners. So you always play at Princeton, at Penn the same weekend. You always play at Yale, at Dartmouth the same weekend. Teams travel not on the same plane or same bus, but they're considered travel partners. So it's likely going to have to end up being, USC is going to have to play in basketball Rutgers and Maryland the same weekend.
So that's what it was in the Pac-12. So
Right.
at Arizona, Arizona State was our travel partner. So when we went to LA, we played SC and UCLA. So if we played UCLA on a Thursday, right, SC played Arizona State on that same Thursday, and then
flip it. So that, again, I'm not saying that it can't work, because, again, it's going to work. There are a lot of bright people. There are a lot of bright minds, smart people who thought about this thing to make it work. But, again, just that distance, that's a lot. You're talking about where there's a 3-hour time difference. Right. Well, that's true, and you don't think about the non-revenue sports that have to, let's say, field hockey. You're traveling cross-country for one game. 3 is off the back of the iron there, no good for Julian Kabori, who just came in. On the other end, Tripp travels.
But again, as I'm watching a young fella tap his chest and say, my bad, you can't come in the game and just and shoot hoist a 30-foot three down 17. And you say, my bad. Hey, son, everyone in the stands knows it's your bad. Just think about it. That's another turnover.
Ziegler off the steal, getting all the way to the rim, and he's fouled.
I wonder how many, is that 15 turnovers?
That is 13 for Keystone Prep.
Again, that's, I mean, you scored 7 points in 6 minutes.
It's not necessarily worth getting into the full analytics discussion, but basketball has certainly changed in that at the core of the analytical argument, 3 is more than 2.
Yep.
And you have to make 2 2s to get 4. You have to make 1 3 to get 3. So mathematically, it makes more sense. Do you think, though, we've gone a little too far in that and almost taken the human element out of, like, hey, if you're not a good 3-point shooter, maybe?
I think we have, and I think as coaches, if I have a young man who's not a really good 3-point shooter, I'm going to put him in situations. If I want my 3-point shooters to run to the corner in transition, you know what I'm.
There's a good 3 for Blanchett.
There you go. To a guy who can really shoot it, you put him in a great spot. That's a great, ATL. But if I have a guy that can't shoot and I'm telling him to run to the corner, what I'm going to do is say, hey, still do what we do, run to the corner. But you know what I want you to do? After you get to the corner, go back door, because that's how they're going to respect you, right? And if you got an opportunity, a guy's closing out at you, get by and make someone better. But I think you have so many threes being shot, and you're just saying, hey, like again, another one. The kid may be a great shooter. I'm watching and I'm just saying, are you shooting because you're open? So it's a very surreal situation.
Horton gave it up to Delquan Warren. Can't hit the baseline jumper, and another strong rebound for Tripp. Back the other way, lobs it up. And Ziegler throws it down.
Think about it, just transition. You know, and I've talked about that. This is game 4. You know, the home run play, Be solid. You know, again, backdoor pass. Maybe it was good, maybe it wasn't. But you're trying to score, and again, you can't rebound a turnover.
There's Singare. About a 3-second difference between the clocks. Into the corner, Wheeler, open 3 around and out.
And those are the threes, like I said. If you're 0 for 30 on that one, I get it.
Other end, Blanchett can't hit. And one more chance.
I mean, just think about that. No one back, no floor balance.
Ziegler, Singare. Thought he was fouled, no call. And he traveled.
But just think about, how does someone get behind you at the end of the quarter? There's no floor balance. You know, again, just a sense of urgency of, again, if they're 18 points better than us, let them be better than us. But let's not give them anything else that doesn't make any sense.
Warren will let it roll. Clock starts now. Warren at the buzzer, left it short. And that is the end of the third quarter. Another big 8-minute stretch from OSL, and they lead by 18 as we head to the fourth here on SUVtv.
Supermarket sushi, really?
No. Wait, Troy, you work here?
I'm never not working. Like Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes.
Never not working, huh?
Oh, Troy, you're such a good teacher.
Yeah, I know. Never not working. Never not working. Never ever not working.
Are you serious?
Never not working. Dandruff protection that's never not working. Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield.
Fourth quarter at Jersey Mike's Arena. OSL with a 48-30 lead over Keystone Prep in the final game of the battle in New Jersey. Book Richardson, Justin Galanti, glad to be with you. 8 more minutes to go, and this has been an impressive performance from OSL. And Coach, this is what stands out to me in this game. Just the unselfishness of this team. The 3 is no good there for a Burris, but they have played 6 players more than 10 minutes in this game, and these are the shot totals for those 6 players. 8, 7, 7, 6, 6, 5.
Awesome. Awesome. That's why they're up almost 20.
Horton finally gets a 3 to go. And it's got to be fun to play in a group like that where everyone's getting theirs and no one's concerned who has the most points or who puts up the stats. Ziegler. And a Burris lays it in.
Again.
And they force the turnover.
I'm here to watch a game and critique the game and not be critical of anyone, an individual. But I'm just saying, like, that stat of just those guys sharing the basketball, they're playing for one another.
12 assists on 18 made field goals also.
Yeah, but that's what it's about.
Jones off the side of the rim and out of bounds.
Yeah, I don't know if the shot, if that was a shot clock, running down on the shot clock shot. But again, that was probably a shot that was very uncharacteristic of them tonight. OSL, that is. Excuse me.
Brandon Davis tries to feed one back door, and just nowhere to go with that for Horton. Somehow fed it off, and Blanchett with a nice floater. He does have a very nice stroke and has played well in this game. 9 points now, and it's a 15-point differential. 6 minutes and 10 seconds to go from the rack.
Down 15. You get 3 stops in a row. We call that a kill. 3 stops in a row. If you can get you a kill and then you can score, guess what? That's 1, right? Now you're in transition. You're pushing. That's.
I was actually doing a game with a coach a couple weeks ago who was talking about that exact 3 stops in a row. He said he used to tell his teams if we do that 5 times in a game, we will win.
We always talked about getting kills. You talk about 6. If you can get 6 to 8 kills in a game, because think about that. 6 kills, that's 18 stops.
Yep.
We always talked about that. But what it did was it banded us together because everyone had to do their job. Everyone had to do their job. But guess what, right? They got to stop. Now it's 13. Let's see if you can get another stop. That'll be your second. Then you get a third. It's a kill. Let's see if OSL has to call a timeout.
Regista tries to go cross court with it for Jameer Tripp. And a foul on the floor against Horton.
But you can't foul. Time isn't on your side. Time isn't on your side.
Ziegler will inbound. Armani Ziegler sifting his way through traffic but couldn't hit, so there's another stop for Keystone Prep.
There's another stop, and now you're in transition. Now you can play a little bit.
Davis going baseline. Horton doesn't get the roll. Good defense by Singare. I've been really impressed today with all these bigs being able to defend without fouling. How many high school bigs do you see just get in there against tough competition, hands are all over the place, they have 2 fouls before you know what happened? Tough shot there for Jameer Tripp.
And I don't know if that's these guys are just throwing the basketball around.
Blanchett up and under.
You can't trade baskets. You have to get stops. You can't trade baskets. You got to get stops.
Tripp splits the double and gives to Ziegler. 4:20 to go, a 13-point lead for OSL. Nearly turned it over. Instead, Jones lobs it up. Alley-oop, though, was off the front of the rim for Tripp. Stays, though, with OSL.
But again, guess what? Now it's another shot. You miss a layup, and it's now another attempt because they just outworked it. It's another, that's an offensive rebound.
Tripp on the pullback.
Another offensive rebound. Another possession. Okay. Now see if you can get something in transition. Throw it to the big fella down, run down.
Good pass, but Oini lost it but was fouled. Oiona was fouled, I guess they're going to say shooting, so 2 shots for the UT Rio Grande Valley commit. Foul against Ziegler. And a chance to get this to 11 with 3:55 left. Oiona with 3 points and 3 rebounds in this game. Blanchett leading Keystone Prep with 13. Regista leading OSL with 12. Top performances of the day, you would have to probably go with Griffiths in our first game and Mbako in game 3.
Of the day, like what he did, Griffith, from start to finish, he dominated on both ends of the floor. And and we've watched number 3 player in the country, another top 30 with Sim. We watched Brandon Williams, in that class, and like I said, Griffin, he fit right in. There was no difference. We saw some really good sophomores with Brandon Storrs Jr. and Ty Turnage. Markel Austin, Cayenne Anthony. We got to see some of those guys. We also had an opportunity to see some pretty good juniors with Dwayne Pierce and Pong, and
Looked like there might have been some contact there, but no call. And now a travel against Brandon Davis. And he can't believe it.
Yeah, hopefully Pong's doing, he's turned his ankle, so hopefully it's just an ankle. He'll be back as soon as possible. Wishing him a speedy recovery. But you've seen an incredible assortment of talent, in so many different classes. Jalen Grant, as a freshman, 2026 guy. The future is bright, especially in this tri-state area, but, New York, New Jersey.
Not a good pass there,
No.
but it does bounce right to Christian Jones.
They're just throwing the ball around now. Now they're being irresponsible.
Jones for three. And the rebound taken by Diop. And he throws it away.
Yeah, right now, you are facing just a bad team who's when I say bad, right now, their performance is bad for today. Not that they've given up, but just the turnovers that they've had. Just like I said, you got 40 points. Imagine, you have an opportunity to get 12 to 16 more points just to get a shot off.
Nice move in transition there by Davis, getting to the rim, can't finish. Their defense, and they being Keystone Prep, has stepped up of late. They have held OSL to one of their last 9 from the floor.
Yeah.
But just have not been able to score.
Yeah. And having an opportunity even to get out and transition, that's a hell of a pass.
Regista on the step back, and another miss. Not a lot of scoring in this fourth quarter, really on either side. Only combined 14 points to this point. Good feed inside. Another good pass leads to the layup and the foul. Muhtar Diop will go to the line to try and make this a 9-point game with 1 minute and 44 seconds to go. Diop with 8 points in the game and 9 rebounds, so potentially closing in on a double-double. 6'9" junior. Stays at 52-42. Tripp running the break, getting towards the rim, lays it in. 10 points for Jameer Tripp, and it's back to a 12-point lead.
Again, just being irresponsible defensively. He never passed the ball. Another turnover.
Travel against Julian Kabori. 6'9" wing who's only a sophomore and has a lot of room to grow.
Yeah, I get it. I understand it. But I think we're in this culture where we talk about potential. And I remember Bob Huggins said this to me a long time ago. He said, Coach Book, potential means you ain't any good yet.
Yeah.
And he said it, with all due respect, but everyone's talking about what he's going to be. Hey, I need you to be a player right now, and whatever it is you have, man, give that to him, but play hard. Play smart.
Jameer Tripp fading away, couldn't hit. Rebound still loose, and we have a foul going against Tripp. I think on that last shot, Tripp put the ball between his legs without dribbling.
Yeah, he did. Maybe he saw that on, on one of his mixtapes, or he saw, his trainer told him that. So, pretty good move. We want to see if we can put that on 2K. Maybe that was a 2K move.
Delquan Warren, good feed inside, and the layup is good for Oyana. So 5 points for David Oyana, 10-point game, 40 seconds left. Keystone has to foul if they want to try and keep this game alive. They do end up fouling on a layup attempt for Yusuf Singare. We were talking earlier about you know, those 6'7" to 6'10" guys that Duke has produced lately. Think of all the centers that UConn had back in the 2000s under Jim Calhoun. You know, just a lot of really high-level basketball players. There was Andre Drummond. There was Hashim Thabit. There was Emeka Okafor. You kind of thought about
Hilton Armstrong, Josh Boone.
A lot of big-time big men went through stores.
But again, and I don't know why we don't mention Jim Calhoun. Like, you know, when guys talk about when they talk about their Mount Rushmore.
A steal for Ziegler. And a block from behind there by Warren. Back in transition. And
like Jim Calhoun, you talk about winning national championships in different eras, but I thought he was one of the best at skill development, right? When you look at a guy like Josh Boone, he was the most highly touted guard. I mean, big. When you look at Hilton Armstrong, you know, he was the most highly touted big. Those guys became NBA players. And I watched him again, coached against him in an Elite Eight game where he won two two NCAA tournament games that were true road games. He beat San Diego State with the great Kawhi Leonard and Coach Steve Fisher. He beat an Arizona team that had Derek Williams, who became the #2 pick in the draft that year.
One more shot at the buzzer is good for Brian Blanchette. Makes it look a little prettier, but it's a 56-47 win for OSL over Keystone Prep, pretty much wire to wire for Keystone Prep. Impressive performance to round out the day.
Yes, it was. You know what? A great day of basketball, 4 games. It didn't seem like we want to call for 4 games, but it was an awesome day. Incredible array of talent, and every year, you know, this area, you know, the New York, New Jersey area is primed with so much talent, you know, from 2026 to 2024 in terms of recruiting classes.
Well, what an outstanding event today here at Jersey Mike's Arena. So glad you could be with us all day for the battle in New Jersey here on SUVtv at HBCU League Pass Plus. For our entire outstanding crew and my partner, Book Richardson, it's been a pleasure working with you, sir. Hope you all have a wonderful night, a wonderful new year. And we say so long. OSL wins the final game 56-47.
Happy New Year, all.